Yeah, welcome everyone to DomainFi 101, where we are going to break down how domain tokenization actually work before we dive in the actual magic. Just a quick housekeeping note. This session is being recorded, as you have seen, and replay you will get after this webinar ends. Right. And also, we want to make this session highly interactive. If the speakers or I ask anything, please be fast to answer in the chat box. We will also run a couple of more quick polls, couple of more homework for you. Please answer those quickly so we can get a sense of the room and adjust our flow of webinar accordingly. If you are a domain investor, guys, you already know that the traditional way we do business has a lot of friction. I have myself experienced it. In the old way, what we do, we had to sell the whole domain name or nothing we are selling. Aftermarket is sometimes slow. I have a couple of my colleagues who discussed that, Jay, sales are really low since last 3 months. And these guys are in the webinar and with us tonight. Okay. And what I feel, you buy domain name, you invest on domain name, and until you sell your domain, in the meantime, your capital is completely locked up. Okay. Then and you have to rely on escrow for, of course, gaining trust of the buyer. And there is simply no way to share the upside of a great name with a broader community till now. After this webinar, we might see new horizon we might open, but what if you didn't have to wait months for a single buyer? What if you could unlock your capital today by selling part of your domain name? Okay, over the next hour, we are going to show you exactly how Doma is solving these pain points of domainer by unlocking liquidity through tokenization and fractionalization. These are the magical words. So I'm going to share slides, and I'll walk you through some slides. Then experts from Doma will take over. Yes, guys, I'm getting lots of questions like, are you recording? Are we getting recording? Yes, you will definitely get a recording. So let me share slides. I'm sharing my screen. So can you see DomainFi 101 slide? Send me yes if you can see. I'm just keeping you awake, guys. Send me yes. My friends, send me yes. Oh, okay, fantastic. Right. And today we are with very fantastic panel with us. And meet this panel. Meet me first. I'm in community builder and domain name investor. And for my day job, you can say, or you can say for my bread and butter, I run a SaaS company which deals in forensics and cybersecurity. And apart from that, we have Inder Singh with us, who handles product and tech in D3, and he has 20 plus years of experience of tech building across data, fintech, crypto, and of course, domain name. Right. And we have Matt Smith, and he's heading partner operations at D3, running partner launches and integration across registrars and Web3 ecosystem. Right. And we have our special guest tonight, Samit Madan. We all know him. So he'll be sharing his own first-hand experience of using Doma protocol and using the system exactly. So moving to next slide. So this is our agenda, guys, and we are covering the whole agenda. And in this agenda, the fifth point and sixth point, they are very important because dashboard walkthrough is very important. Demo is very important. And of course, live token launch will give you a hint how much you can make and what kind of domains you can launch in couple of coming days, right? So I'm handing over this floor, this mic to Inder. Inder, please welcome Inder.
Hey, thank you, Jay. Yeah, it's good to see you again. I think we met like in March at ICANN Mumbai when I was in India. So, great to see you again. Thanks for having us here and, giving us the opportunity to talk about D3 and Doma.
Yeah.
before like we get started, like, I want to like run like a similar poll. Like, how many people actually consider themselves, novices or experts at Web3, like, or crypto, right? Like just type it in, just want to get like some signal, like who here has ever actually bought anything on chain? And, the reason I like want to start with that is, a lot of people have, thought of crypto. They, you always think of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. For most
Mhm.
people, the crypto journey started with kind of owning your, money, right?
Mhm.
But crypto has come like a lot further than that, right? So imagine if you buy a domain today, you list it on Afternic, it's part of the fast transfer network, right?
Mhm.
Now you get a sale, the domain moves, you get your money. That's great. But to do that, GoDaddy had to go through like a lot of hoops to jump, right? It's not programmable, which means you cannot do anything with that domain while it's stuck in Afternic, right? While everyone's been complaining for so like, in the comments, long hold times, lack of liquidity, lack of everything. So that's where crypto comes in. So think of it as like Lego building blocks. So you know how like kids would make like toys, right? You can make a car, you have like a base, you put like another building block, you attach wheels. That's what like Web3 and crypto is. It lets you program your domains. And I know it's a fancy way of saying that basically you can have new ways in how you can use your domain. Jay, like we were talking about fractionalization. It's been
Mhm.
done in Web3, like a lot of you guys will remember, MJ.com, right? Was, sold on Valley Road, I think, fractional ownership. It was so complicated. It was so complicated. And crypto cannot like be like, stand for that, right? So
Mhm.
a lot of what we're doing is we're just making it easier to use domains in very new ways. That's like our goal. Make it faster, make it cheaper, make it useful in many different ways. That's like this whole domain fi. We all know the fi, all of us in this room, that is one thing we all know. Domains
Mhm.
have value, like real value. This is not a fake value. There is always a real value to a domain. And that's what crypto is good for. If you have value, how do we make that value more accessible to folks, everywhere? So if you want to go to the next slide, we are just getting started. We are not even like, an year old, right? If you think about it, we went live in like actually end of November, 1st December last year, right? So 1st December last year was when we first launched with software.ai, the domain being tokenized on chain. Since then, we've come like a very long way. We have seen over $200 million get traded on chain. Surprisingly, 60 million of that came within the last 30 days. So we're seeing this like, inflection point where the best assets, the best domains are coming on chain and they are coming really fast. So, that saying, right? All at once. And we are also seeing this growth. We have seen literally 55,000 new people get into the domain industry. I'm sure a few of them were domainers, but that's the biggest thing I'm very proud of. A lot of these buyers are first-time domainers. I'm sure some of you guys are in this domainer den Zoom call who had never bought a domain until you heard of Doma. And that's like something I think we all should be proud of, right? We are looking for net new buyers. We're looking for net new sellers. We're looking for new users who value and bring value to the domain community. And that's what I think Doma is doing. It's bringing this community together. And, funny enough, we did that with less than 600 domains. I have a feeling at least half the people here have more than 600 domains on this call. So we did $200 million in trading with like barely 600 domain names. So that's why I think keep saying we're just getting started. We're like the tip of the iceberg. We're like so early. Can we go next, please? So the reason I think, I kind of alluded to this, earlier, right? We are all stuck with the same problem. We buy a domain and then there's a very long time to hold it. That's problem number one, right? You have to hold onto this domain for like 2, 3, 5, 10 years sometime. On top of that, you can only buy a whole domain. So a lot of people I saw, shared this in the chat. You can only buy a premium domain if you have 6 figures or 7 figures US dollars in your bank account. It's untenable for a lot of the audience, right, who values domains. So, I joke with a lot of people, even if I was to give you $5,000, you can only buy like individual names and probably not the best one at that price. So that's the key problem, right? You have a asset that cannot allow for smaller check sizes to come in. The aftermarket is slow. The buyer may not show up for a decade. And then on top of that, you're paying a lot of fees. You are paying a lot of escrow. I mean, everyone here has probably given 10, 15, 20% to Atom, GoDaddy, Afternic, Cedar, right? And then you don't have a community. Even if you have a great name, we were talking to Richard Lau, he owns rights.com. Richard is one of the best community builders. He knows how hard it is to build a community. He came on Doma, he launched rights.com, and boom, all of a sudden he has a community of 4,000 people who are supporting him now. And more than that, your capital's locked up. So let's say you even bought like big name, you spent like, I don't know, like $50,000. Now your $50,000 are locked up for like a whole year. That's a great business. Everyone's making money, don't get me wrong, but it's not a very efficient business. It's not a great way to run positive cash flows. It's not a great way to kind of hyper accelerate your growth. And this is what Doma solves, right? Doma allows you to bring the domains on chain and get instant liquidity, instant settlement, and 24/7 trading. So that's like the biggest like paradigm shift in my mind that's happening that most people haven't come to realize, right? You can actually get liquidity without losing control of your domain. And I'll get into how we make that happen in a second. But you now, if you come on Doma, have access to 400 million crypto buyers around the world. You can be on any major blockchain, including popular ones like Solana, Base, Ethereum, and you can also tap into liquidity. So next slide, please. So how does this liquidity appear, right? It's not magic, right? It's not like, hey, I came on chain and boom, all of a sudden I have some liquidity. The liquidity comes from having what we call like a market, right? So I hate taking the stocks analogy because domains are just ownership, but imagine what brings liquidity to a company when it goes public. You do an IPO, you get liquidity. What that means is you typically split up your company into shares, and then a lot of people can buy and sell into this market. During the IPO, one of the things banks do is establish a price on the market. And this is very similar to what you'll see today is going to happen for domains, right? What Doma is doing is it's helping you establish a market for your domain. So let's say, I always take Richard's example, rights.com, right? He owns this premium name, but the market doesn't exist. It's either Richard and no one else. Richard cannot even get $1 out of this name without waiting for a full sale. But now Richard brings this domain on chain. So as part of Doma, the domain is on chain, it's verified. All of us know rights.com belongs to Richard, and we can see that it's locked inside Doma protocol. That's the biggest unlock. Now everyone trusts that, hey, the protocol, the smart contract has contractually said Richard has locked up rights.com. At that point, Richard goes and creates literally 1 million tokens, that represent ownership rights into rights.com. Now, if he had 1 million tokens, he owned the entire domain. So nothing has changed so far. If he has 100% of the tokens, he owns 100% of the domain. But, going back to high school math, now you can sell the token. You can sell one token. You can sell 1 million tokens. It doesn't matter. You have a lot of flexibility. The beauty is that it's not even 1 million tokens. It's actually a lot more tokens if you do the math. So what we're doing is we're taking these premium names and splitting them up into ownership pieces. But that's not the smart part, right? Like I said, mj.com, you did it, right? You could split that ownership. A lot of people bought into mj.com. And so it's not like a novel concept to own, domains fractionally. We have a couple other domains, on Doma that are actually owned by like more than 2 people. What's more interesting is that there is a market, and this market can only exist because it's on blockchain. So the whole power of Web3 comes from being programmatic. So I don't want to get too technical, but imagine you said that, hey, if this happens, do that. Very simple concept, right? Oh, if someone knocks on my door, send me a text message, right? A few of you have probably electronic doorbell. That's what blockchains enable, where Richard can now say, hey, I'll sell this if that happens. And this is what, is a fancy way of saying bonding that Matt will demo today, right? All we're saying is you say, Richard said, I'm going to sell 20% of rights.com at this price. But that market did not go through if everyone did not agree to that price. So it's a good way for you to test your mettle as domainer. Say, hey, can we price the domain where other buyers will want to buy fraction of this domain. Because what you're doing at that point is you're establishing a whole bunch of other people that want to co-own that domain with you. They're able to say like, hey, I think this is a good price and I think I want to be part of this ownership. And what do you get in return? You get instant liquidity. If you sell off 20% of your name and you owned a six-figure name, maybe you took off 10 grand off the table. That's a pretty big win. You did not have to wait 5 years, 10 years. You got that money off the table. And now, since there are 5,000 other owners, there's a liquid market. Now you can decide to sell more names. So you can, instead of selling 20%, maybe 6 months later, you're buying a house and you're like, maybe I should sell off another 5%. You actually have a place to go do that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you want to buy back your name and you can buy it back now. So you can regain some of your liquidity. So the power goes to the token holders, with the domain owner being the majority holder. It gives you a place where you literally get physical hard cash off the table by selling a small part of your domain to other users. And because these people are bought into your vision, you now have a market or a trading system where you can come in and out and buy and sell more fractions of your name. I know this is like a lot to say, and I think this will become more real when we demo the platform. And that's why Jay was saying, that is the biggest most important part of this session is when we show, not tell you what we're doing. But you'll be like pleasantly surprised that you can today go buy David Costello's smoothie.com. You can buy like $1 of it. So the risk you take in owning a premium name goes from, hey, I want to buy it for like, 300 grand to like $1, literally $1. You can actually buy 1 cent of smoothie.com. I'm not going to recommend you do that, but you could buy 1 cent. And it does not impact the use of the actual domain on the web, right? So I just saw a question pop up. So whoever owns more than half the tokens can actually change the DNS. The only thing that you have to guarantee is that you cannot sell it without the other owners making money. So Matt's going to cover this, how you kind of understand how much money you're going to make. But that's the hard guarantee. The domain is useful. You can still list it on Afternic. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. However, you cannot sell it without paying back the token holder. So as a buyer, you're protected. So if you buy $1 of smoothie.com, you are guaranteed by David Costello that when he sells the domain, he'll pay you back. There is like no two ways. And same with you as an owner. If you bring your premium name on chain, you're making that promise to the other buyer because they're not buyers, they're owners, just like yourself. Maybe they don't own the majority, but they are owners of the domain. So our goal is that everyone participates in this high trust system where everyone feels safe taking money off the table and buying into premium asset. Next slide, please. So I guess this is like, what I was like saying, right? So it's a good segue. The domain is still DNS compliant. While it's sitting in Doma, there is absolutely no changes to how the domain behaves. You will still see it in your registrar. You will be able to set your DNS. You can, list it on Atom. You can list it on Afternic, Cedo, Dynadot, wherever you want. The only difference is now there's a community. And we've seen really nice examples of this, right? So James, he owns Bragg.com. He's one of the most active people who actively engages the community. So people are buying into Bragg.com because they're trying to form like a community around it. And so what we're seeing is this organic community of holders that are, there on chain. So I see a question. Yeah, so that's a great question, Jonas. So two things, right? So technically that's possible, right? That you can put it on chain and then the people will own the name in perpetuity along with you. Now, we have actually discussed that case where startups may want to put their domain name in crypto that are actually decentralized organizations that are actually owned by the users. So you could, potentially fractionalize 40%, keep the domain, but at some point, if the company shuts down and you sell the domain, you will owe the money. But the bigger problem is that these people now have ownership rights on your domain. So you will also need to convince the buyers that this is a good deal for them. So, again, I will keep reiterating, we do not help you buy and sell the names, right? The buyers need to be convinced that they think this is a good deal and they want to buy into it. So sure, you may be able to do some of this, but on the other side, the buyers need to exist that agree to what you're proposing. And if they're bought into it, that's so be it. And I can see people actually buying into it because companies shut down, domains get liquidated, domain name sells. So all of that, still remains the truth. And then people may buy into it. So it's an interesting new way of owning these domains. That's, I feel like, is pretty unique, in the sense how we do it. So I'll pause there before I hand it over to Matt. I see one more question. What will the buyer be able to do if he buys a $1 token? So Bhanu, you can do two things. One, you can sell the token at any given point. So either at a profit or a loss, depending on the token price. So you don't even have to wait for the sale to happen. So you see a lot of other people are buying into that domain. You may be able to sell your token for $1.10 or not sell it. In case you don't sell it, it's no different from domain investment. At that point, you basically hold on to that token until the domain itself sells whenever it sells. So let's say you buy a token for smoothie.com for $1. You can sell it if the token price changes, or you can wait for smoothie.com, in which case you will be able to exchange it for the money you made when smoothie.com sells. So that's what the token is for. And the second question.
In that, just a second, we can do Q&A round at the last actually, so that we can keep our flow moving.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll just say this: the valuation is not decided by us, and it is not based on the domain name. This is, Jay, I do want to answer this one because this is the biggest mindset shift. The value of your domain is being decided by the other buyers. So as domain owners, it's your story to tell, whether it's traffic, SEO, appraisals do not matter. You can say hey, this domain was appraised to be $1 million, but if the market doesn't agree, no one's going to buy your token. So the domains are priced by what the buyers are willing to pay for it. But Matt, I think this might be a really good segue for you to maybe talk about your flow.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thanks so much, Inder. And yeah, just like you said, right, we're facilitating the buyers and sellers. We don't set these prices, right? So anyone is free to set their own price. If you think that there's SEO value, track record, historical value, that's all of yours to set, right? We're essentially just facilitating buyers and sellers and enabling this new Web3 infrastructure, right? Enabling these crypto buyers to buy into domains basically for the first time. So yeah, super exciting. Jay, if you can help me out, I think we want to do a live demo. I think we do have a couple slides, but I wanted to start and just see, can you run a poll? And you can move to the next slide. I'll talk a little bit about it.
Can you run a poll? You can share your screen.
Oh, sure.
For demo.
Yeah. Before we do, I wanted to see if you can help me. Can you run a poll to see how many people have signed up and or ever used Doma? I just want to get a sense of, how many people have actually used the app, and then we can kind of go through the demo. If you haven't signed up for Doma, super easy to get started. Inder and the whole product team have worked really hard to make, getting on and also getting money in and out extremely seamless. You can now basically sign up with a Google account, right? No messing with MetaMask, etc. So it's never been easier to sign up, which is really awesome. I just want to get a sense from the group of have you used Doma or not used it, and that'll help me guide, how deep we want to go in the walkthrough.
I think
will that work, Jay, our fearless leader?
I think in the registration form, we have some information which I'll share with you.
Yes, please. I use Doma every day. I love to hear that. I need everyone else to also say the same thing, please.
In the chat box, you can say, guys, if you use Doma, you can say yes.
I also use Doma every day.
Alvin, no. Hayat, no. Okay.
A pretty good mix. That's great. Hell yeah. I like that. Okay, so yeah. Jay,
so, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
So we have, 51% audience who have not heard of Doma till date, right? And 76% of the audience have not used Doma so far. These are the stats.
That's awesome. Yeah, glad we got that stats. We're already getting a whole bunch of activity. I see a couple of our team members have used it, so that's good. If you haven't used it, I'd be very concerned. Let's go ahead and do the demo. So that's really great. Thanks everyone for sharing. I wanted to just make it real, everything that Inder was talking about, and kind of show what does the site look like. So Jay, and everyone else, how does that look? You see my screen? Everything working? May take a second.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. So for those who haven't been to Doma before, and feel free to follow along, by the way, our site is app.doma.xyz. Easy to get started. Like I mentioned in the top right, I'm already signed in, but if you are not signed in, really easy to sign in with a Google account. We'll create a wallet, all that other fun stuff for you. So pretty seamless. I'm just going to do a quick demo of the site, and then we do have a live launch. So Jay, you're able to see this too? Yes, I can change tabs. All working.
I can see it, by the way. I can
Yes,
see
yes,
both the
everything
tabs.
is working fine. Fantastic.
Okay, great. Yes, perfect. So in about 20 minutes, I think we're ahead of schedule today, which is all right. In about 20 minutes, we have assetsplanet.com going live. We have new domains getting fractionalized every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. So it just depends on the calendar, but we wanted to go through a live launch with you all. So if you haven't already, while I'm going through this, would love for you to sign up on Doma, either with a Google account or with Wallet, whatever you'd like. Try and send some funds in. If you have any questions, need any help, please just drop it in the chat and we can help you get started. That way you'll be ready to go in 20 minutes when this goes live. So this is our homepage. This kind of goes over all of the recent and the trending domains that we've fractionalized. You can see a couple of the really big ticket ones that Inder mentioned, a bunch of these, right? Software.ai, a multi-million-dollar domain. Smoothie.com just went live last week. It's already up. Let's take a look at this one as an example. This one's been doing really well. So you see on the top right here, this is the domain price that the owner sets. So just like one of you had asked in the chat, you're free to set your own price. You can see really, really healthy chart here. I have the 6 hour. I'll zoom in a little bit. So if you had bought Smoothie around launch, you could have gotten in anywhere from 30 cents to 35 cents, currently trading at 40.479, almost 48 cents, up, I want to say, what, 40, 50% from initial launch. So this one's doing really well. And it just shows, right, that when you have these really big brands like smoothie.com and you're able to trade it as little as 1 cent or as much as thousands of dollars in a liquid market, there's actual retail demand for that. So really exciting about this launch. Like I mentioned, you can buy as little as 1 cent. You can do it live right here. Make sure there's no interruptions. Look at that. So sign a couple transactions just like you normally would. I have my wallet signed up, but with Google, it's even easier. You know, you just press a couple things and you're good to go. So I'm buying 1 cent of smoothie
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is for crypto folks. If you use the Doma Google Wallet, you don't actually have to sign anything. So for most of you people, like, I strongly recommend just using the Google Wallet. I do think that's like the best way to go about it. You wouldn't need to worry about any crypto signatures.
Yeah, I'm a boomer stuck in my ways with crypto wallets, but I highly recommend using Google. It's so much easier. So moving on, buy, sell. One interesting feature here is you can buy the entire domain, right? You don't have to just buy 1 cent, $1. The owner sets the price, and if you wanted to buy this out, if you had $3.54 million lying around, I do not, but maybe some of you do, you're free to just buy this out. You retain full ownership of the domain, and all of the token holders get paid out based on the latest price, right? So if you're holding this at 48 cents, this gets bought out at 3.54 million. That's essentially a $3.54 valuation. You're making almost a 10x on your money, right? So we think that this is like one of my favorite domains because I really see the future potential. This domain is worth millions of dollars in my opinion, right? And the chart's already starting to prove us. Not financial advice, so please don't sue me if you lose money. But I'm really excited about this one. So what I wanted to show, I'm moving down here. There's a summary here that the owner's free to set. You can talk more about your domain. So I think one of you mentioned in the comments, right? My domain has historical value. It has SEO value. You can actually highlight all that stuff here, and you can see the trades coming in. So that was me 2 minutes ago. You can see my trade came in. This is live, right? So as buys and sells come in, you can watch everything get traded in real time. And I won't go through everything here, but there's a lot of information, right? We're extremely transparent because everything is on chain, as you all know in crypto, right? So the bonding curve, how much was initially raised by the buyer at 32K, the auction starting and auction ending, that's what FDV is here. So the starting valuation was 300K, ending 350K, and then the buyout that we saw was 3.5 million, and around 10% of the tokens are circular. So Inder talked about this. When you fractionalize, right, you're still retaining ownership of your domain. You're only selling a small percentage. In this case, the smoothie.com owner sold 10%, right? So 90% is locked to the owner. He retains that ownership, and he can buy back the 10% at any time if he chooses. But right now, 10% of those tokens are circulating, and that's kind of the vesting schedule for when those tokens get. And just seeing if there's any other notes here. We support a whole bunch of registers, including Interstellar, and we have over 700 holders on Smoothie, and it's only been a week. So really, really exciting. You can even see the breakdown here, right, with the different tabs. You can see what this is the owner, of course, right, holds 85%, and then there's some percentage in the liquidity pool, and then these are all just the different owners yourselves. If you were interested, you put a couple thousand in and you'll be top of the charts here. You're also free to take some of your tokens. So someone said in the comments, what can I do with one token? Well, besides the fact that you hold on to that token if you think this domain will appreciate, we also have subdomains. So you can see, depending on the length of the subdomain, they cost a different amount. Banana.smoothie costs, and these are staking, so it doesn't actually cost anything, right? This is a completely free program, but you're staking 80 tokens worth around $38, and you retain banana.smoothie.com. You can resell that subdomain. You can just hold on to it, brag about it, set it as your DNS, all that fun stuff. And then, of course, the longer string, Smoothly and Sweet Fruits. That's a weird subdomain, but that only costs one smoothie token. So for 48 cents, you can go and kind of claim that on your own. So I'm going to go back here to the home page, and I just wanted to kind of walk through what's going on, the activity on the site. So you see Smoothie, a recent launch, Software AI, brag.com, some of our more premium ticket domains that have launched with us, alert.ai. And if you scroll down, you'll see more about just like the activity going Doma. So these are live trades happening right now. So I'm paying $10 for that, $10 for that. Graduating soon. These are ones that are currently bonding. So I think Samit, who's talking with us later today, owns gradai.com. This is currently in the bonding stage, 25%. If you want to support him, go and buy a couple dollars worth of that. But you can see we have a lot of domains bonding and launching at any one time. There must be at least 10, 15 launches here. That's really awesome to see. You know, you can also launch yourself, which I can talk about later. Anyone's free to do this, right? Just like a pump fund, but with actual value and utility attached. And then wanted to also highlight that. Yes.
Sorry,
yes, go ahead.
I see a lot of questions. Do you mind like going back to maybe smoothie.com?
Oh, yeah. I can't see the questions right now.
That's why I was like kind of, interjected. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
No,
so if you go back to smoothie.com, this is one of the feedback, team like we've been getting that I don't understand what happens, the life cycle of a domain, right? So if you scroll down ever so slightly, Matt, so that we can see the FTB and everything.
Yeah.
So when David launched Smoothie, right, he said the price was 300K. So you see the starting FTB on this page in the bonding curve, right? So depending on how early you were able to buy the whole domain at that price. So David said, this is the price I'm going to buy it at. And then this is the market creation I was saying. People actually committed $32,000. That means literally buyers like you and I put in $32,000 to say, yes, that is the right price for this domain. Now, the price today is 48,000, right? Or 480,000, give or take. So the price has increased since then. Our goal is to get this price, because it's market pricing, to as close to 3.5 million as possible. And that's what David is saying he will sell the domain at. So I saw a question, what if I sell it on GoDaddy? So what David is saying is if you hold one token, so today you can buy one token for 48 cents. So let's say you bought $1, which is approximately, let's say 50 cents, so 2 tokens. He's saying, I cannot sell this domain unless I pay you back $7. So $3.50 per token, 1 million tokens, 3.5 million. That's the buy it now price that you're seeing in the floor FTD. So again, this is the biggest area, I think, of confusion for Web2 folks that we're working on. So this mathematics will be a lot more clearer. But that's what David is saying. You can buy Smoothie today at 480 grand price, but I will never be able to sell it on Afternic for less than $3.5 million. So this is something the market has agreed to buy into. Now, David can still sell the domain at a lower price. He needs to guarantee paying the buyout holders. So nothing is stopping David from selling it at $3 million. So David sold, 10%, right? Like you can see like the supply here. So let's say he sells the domain for $3 million instead of $3.5 million. Now, 10% is, of $3.5 million is, give or take like 350K, right? He just needs to pay 350K to the token holders, give them the promised returns, and he can pocket the remaining of, $2.65 million. If he sells it for 3.5, he gets to pocket more, 3.125. But it all depends on him. When he sells it, he cannot transfer the domain out without paying the token holder. Obviously, anyone on Doma, like Matt was saying, can come in, deposit $3.5 million and take the domain out. And I see another question, like this does take a while, but we kind of work with you to expedite this process. And that's why like the Doma team is here. So, a lot of premium domain owners have trusted us. This is, we're not here to block the sale because no one makes money if the sale gets delayed. But at the same time, it protects the buyers, right? The token holders. They gave you money. So David literally took $32,000 off the table for Smoothie. So he got instant liquidity and now he can sell more tokens if he wishes to. Or he cannot. It's totally his call. But yeah, just wanted to kind of cover that, Matt. But back to you.
No, it's great. Yeah. The other thing you were kind of hinting at that I want to double click on is everything here is on chain, right? When you work with GoDaddy, if you find a buyer and you don't trust them, you have to find a third party, you have to go through escrow. These things can go through legal agreements. They could take weeks. And that's a lot of the benefit of what we're bringing here, right? Is if I want this domain, I could go ahead and I press buy domain and I could go ahead and buy it and it gets transferred to me instantly. Everything is on chain, everything is transparent. So we think this is, a huge benefit versus a lot of the pain and hassle that a lot of domainers face today using registrars where you do have to trust the other party or you have to find intermediaries. And those things can also take a long time. They could take days, weeks, or longer. I have not been involved in that specific flow, but I've talked to a ton of domainers that have shared that pain. So that's one of the benefits, right? And Inder mentioned a lot of these big ticket domainers trust us with their domains because they see the value, right? I'm going to go to the token page just to kind of look at some of the big launches we've had. So we got smoothie.com, software.ai, brag.com, alert.ai, owner.com is a fun one, rides.com from Richard Lau, swimsuits.ai. So a lot of really high value domains that domainers are trusting us with because they understand, right, the potential for what Doma is doing here and the fact that everything is on chain, everything. I think this is a great view also for newcomers. If you just go here to tokens, you can see what is really popular, right? So I like Software AI and Brag. Those are some of our earliest launches back in December. You see they have, Software has over 21 million in volume, and Brag has over 6 million. So you can add money to a liquidity pool if you're an advanced crypto trader, or you can just buy $1, hold on to it if you're, just getting started. So a lot of different ways to interact, depending on your level. I want to make sure I don't miss the launch, so let me check it on the timing. So we have, this is where we left off on the homepage. Launching soon just shows our upcoming launches. This is the launch we'll be doing together in about 6 minutes. So again, if you haven't signed up from Doma, if you are on PC or mobile and you're able to get signed up, would recommend doing so. We can help if you have any questions moving money in. Would love if people can even just buy $1, buy a cent, anything that you have available, just to get a sense of how to the site. Gasv.ai is another one that I really like. I mean, very, very crypto savvy, and I think it's launching at a reasonable valuation. So I'll repeat really quick what all this stuff's, right? The buyout price for Gasv.ai, $75,000. For a short.ai name, it's actually extremely reasonable, and .ais have sold for a lot more. And then the way it works on our platform, right, is you essentially have a starting FTV, or I like to call a starting auction price, and then a bonding or ending auction price. So this will go live at $7,500, and it'll graduate or bond at $10,000. And so if you buy in early, right, and it graduates, you're already up, whatever that is. I'm not good about 10, 20%, right, on your tokens, and you're free to sell those or hold on to it if you believe that it's worth a lot more, which this one I think for sure is. The one we'll be doing live today is this one, Assets Planets. I don't know if you have any comments, Jay, on how amazing this domain is. This one,
Yeah,
you like this one?
So it's time to launch
We're 5 minutes away.
my asset basically.
Yeah.
So guys, it is live launch actually. So it's not demo. It's, we are going to launch this domain very live. And after we make it live, anybody can buy this token. Share of this domain, or of course, complete buyout is also possible. Okay, so I think we have 4 minutes to launch. So Matt, I have a question actually. So, yes. In what case it is wise to sell subdomain also?
It's a good question.
Because every domain, I cannot generate subdomains, right?
Yeah. So
because selling subdomains can become liability for me. So what's your thought?
That's a great point. Number one, it's completely up to the domain owner, right? Do I want to enable subdomains in the first place? We have pretty strict protection. So, our team has been in domains a long time, decade. Fred, our CEO, has been doing this for, I think, over 20 years. So is Inder, right? So we know the domain industry in and out. and we have a long list of blacklist, like for trademarks and other infringement. So we won't even allow you, like for example, I don't know, like Walmart.assetsplanet.com. That type of stuff generally isn't available. I don't know exactly what's on the list, so don't quote me. But there's a long list that we basically prevent on the subdomains, just to ensure there's no copyright and that owners don't get in trouble, etc. But again, at the end of the day, it's up to the domain owner. Do I want to enable subdomains or not? The interesting thing, and we're going to see this in 3 minutes when this goes live, you can't buy a subdomain until the asset graduates, right? Because if we don't end up raising the amount of money that the domain owner set in 7 days is the time frame, the domain just goes back to the owner and all the holders get refunded, right? So no harm, no foul. You either have to hit your initial raise limit, or you get the domain back and all the holders get their money back. So if and when this domain, Assets Planet, that last S is throwing me, when Assets Planet graduates, only then can subdomains be claimed. And it's a little bit of a gold rush at first, right? If there's a premium subdomain you want, I don't know, like assets.assetsplanet.com. I don't know what a good subdomain is here, but if there's one that you really wanted, it's first come, first serve, right? Because there can't be two of the same. So as soon as it graduates, there's usually a land rush to grab the most premium or most sought after subdomains, or just grab your name, etc. Does that cover your question?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it is covered. So
Cool.
I mean, okay, suppose like I have a general question. Who is responsible for any trademark violation? Of course, domain owner.
You mean for subdomains specifically?
Correct.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
subdomain.
but we proactively like block all like trademark.
Okay.
And then as a domain owner, you can request any subdomain to be redacted or unavailable. So, as when you start to fractionalize, you're able to give us a list of names you want to not sell ever. We have our own list, and then you can keep extending that list. So, Jay, to be honest, it doesn't matter which registrar you use. You as a domain owner are always responsible. But, like Matt said, we take these things very seriously. We give you all the tools to prevent abuse, violation. We help work with the domain owners very proactively.
Yes,
Great.
that's exactly right.
Okay, so 44 seconds.
Yeah, we're going live soon. How long have you had this domain? Do you want to share a little history? How much did you pay for it?
Actually, I recently bought this domain. So this signals, there are a lot of opportunities. It's not necessary you try to put in Doma very good name or your first domain name or any emotional name. Let's start with any domain. Let's start with something. So 2 seconds, 1 second, boom.
Boom. We got to get some fireworks or something in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to request
I think, Matt, your account, your computer has the wrong date or time, because all of us are saying it still have a minute, surprisingly.
Oh, I'm live. So here I go.
You're live.
I'm about to dump on you guys. Here we go.
That's funny.
Just kidding. This isn't recorded, right, Jay?
Yes.
Oh, no, it was reverted. I'm too early.
Yeah.
I think it's using your laptop time, but I think you're like a minute ahead. So
okay, I'll give it like
give it a minute. It starts at 10 minutes past the hour, and it's 10:09.
That's pretty funny. I think I manually set my clock for my own OCD purposes, so that's pretty funny.
I know, Susan's right. You tried to buy it early, huh, Matt?
I thought I could game the system, but you were too smart for me in there.
No, so this is the beauty. It's all written into the contract. You cannot game the system, but if you refresh now, Matt, you should be able to buy.
Now we're ready? Okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully people online, everyone that's following along, can also try and buy as little as a cent. I would really just love for you guys to experience what it's like to buy tokens live. Here we go. My wallet is crypto bro. See what price. Oh, is it live now? Let me try again.
Yeah, I just bought that. I think everyone's trying to buy, so you have to.
Yeah. Well, this is good news if we have so much demand, and my internet might be a little slow.
And we are on live in YouTube as well. So I'm getting comment there like, I never heard or seen this kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Buying a fraction of domain name.
Yeah, this is a
new
new
experience. People are amazed to say they can take, sense of ownership of smoothie.com, brag.com or software.ai, and of course, assetsplanet.com, the #1 domain.
Yeah, look at these buys come in. So, oh wow, yeah, my internet's a little slow, so it may take a second, but it's
Is this
coming in.
buying?
Yeah, these are
Yeah,
all
this is
buys.
all the people buying. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can I leave this webinar? Am I becoming rich?
Hey, you'll
We're
make
gonna lose our
90
host.
bucks. Jay, I
Yeah,
would not leave the game yet.
you can't abandon us midstream, Jay. Not you can wait. Someone sold $5. The really cool part, right? Because everything is on chain, is you could see all this stuff happening
Okay,
live.
okay. They can do buy sell also.
Yeah, you can sell at any time. There's no restrictions. I never talked quick about this. I'll just quickly go through it. Right, obviously the time since the trade, you could buy or sell, and the total dollar amount of the trade, and then the total tokens. And if you see this little blue icon, it means bonding curve. So this is what's happening before it graduates, right? So this is all happening on the bonding curve, and then the price of the token and the wallet, right? So if I wanted to look at this wastedcode.com guy, no idea who that is, and I could look at his profile, what the tokens he holds, etc. All this stuff is on chain. That's the beauty of it. Someone sold $29. Can't believe you would do that, BE6. We got to get you around. You're also free to set your wallet name. So for anyone that's familiar in crypto, right, there's wallet, reverse, forward mapping, etc. You could set your nickname so everyone knows who this is. We gotta see what the full thing is. I love you, Doma. That's a really good one. You gotta fractionalize that. Let me refresh. It's being odd, but it looks like we're almost to the end here. Slow internet, but yeah, it looks like we've almost raised the full 90. So this is awesome. Is there any questions in chat? Anyone want to ask anything?
I mean, if you can explain some of the values here for audience, that would be good.
Yeah, these are just buys and sells, and you can actually open this. What's pretty cool is again, everything is on chain. This is our block explorer. So this is this is too advanced if you're not really super into crypto, but if you are and you just want to verify, WTF is going on here. This is all being done on chain, right? You can see the different wallets transferring funds back and forth. But what's happening here and on actual Doma is just buys and sells of the various dollar amount. And yeah, that blue icon tells us that we're still in the bonding phase. And this is just the amount of tokens and the amount of USD per token that you're purchasing, right? So if I go all the way down here, the first buy, whoever got in early, bought for 0.00343, and now it's already up to coming up on over half of whatever it is, half of a fraction of 5 cents. So whoever bought in early is already up whatever it is, 10-20%, which is pretty cool, right? You could sell now and instantly be in profit. These are entirely on-chain liquid. Anything here, Jay, that you that isn't clear for you that I didn't cover, or anything you're curious about here?
No, that's all from my side. If we have questions from the audience.
Yeah. I'm going to turn off screen share for now so I can take a look at what other people are saying. But yeah, I think this is awesome. Really happy that everyone was able to participate, and more than happy to help if anyone got stuck.
Okay, so like people are asking, should I wait to sign up via personal link, or you guys provide me some discount or special treatment?
Are you giving them special treatment, Jay? Maybe $5 for everyone?
Actually, I'm getting a lot of WhatsApp messages also. I mean, can I open my account right now, or will I get any promo code at the last?
Yeah, where's your promo code, Jay? I want a free $5. Something?
So we can take questions, I think.
Indra answered a lot of questions. He's a beast here. I'm going through and like everything's already covered.
I think we can go to Summit now. I think after Summit, we can take this round.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah.
So hi, Summit.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome, Summit.
Good to see you.
Figure out.
Doing good, Summit. Minting money. What else?
Minting money, I wish. Can you see me? Can you hear me? What's happening?
Yes, you're on top of the world.
Yeah, I'm top of the world. I had to use the background because... anyway, tell me. So you want me to give you a low-level take after Inder's extremely complex explanation of Doma?
So, Samit, Nation wants to know, what is your story actually? How you have started?
Oh, it's too long. Let's not go there. Let's just stick to Doma. I've been in advertising for almost 40 years now. We were among the first companies to start. I was among the first people to start using technology for pre-press and then printing and then digital printing and stuff like that. Okay. So we got a lot of clients who want stuff done fast. This traditional stuff to time, because of the chemical processes. So I started with web publishing in '98 with MumbaiMart.com. It was India's first e-commerce site. We actually started 4 months before Rediff. There was India Plaza at that time, but India Plaza was US-based, selling into the US market. We were India-based, selling into the India.
Okay.
Did okay for a while, but it got expensive because as a bootstrapped entity, you can't really keep fulfilling orders on a loss basis.
So, approx what year you started investing in domain names?
Around 2007.
2007. It's been, I think, 20 years. Quite a time.
Yeah, I've owned domains since 98, obviously.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
started investing in domains as assets in 2007.
Okay. So it's more than 20 years in domain investment journey. So like what change you have seen if you compare with, legacy investment and this Doma protocol? I think you have also added some domains also, which I think Inder or Matt can walk you with those domain names. And I want to hear a story from you.
Everything has changed. Yeah. When we started back in 2007, there was nothing. There was no data. I actually started by investing in .mobi domains, and I almost got wiped out. I would have been in that, domains, you can't make money from domains, if I had not got out fast enough. This was around the time that Rick Schwartz bought flowers.mobi for 200K or something like that. And I was like, Mobi is the next big thing, and let me get a Mobi. I got a lot of Mobis, and I took a loss, but it was a great learning curve. I think I did better than most because I only lost a few $1,000s as compared to some of the other people who lost a few $100,000. Everybody messes up when they start up, because even though I had a background in SEO and in web development and all that, domaining is a different set of skills because you're trying to project what someone else wants, not what you want. And that is tough. It took me about 3 years to even get a handle on it. I still am not an expert. I'm just, I've just been lucky along the way. I know a lot of ups and downs and whatever. But today there's so many tools there. They're like something like expired domains or expireddomains.net or name bio and all these kind of tools. They're like hundreds of tools. You can find domains, you can value them, you can get the stats on them. Back in the days, you had nothing, literally. You had 2-3 sites which all churned out different information. Even today, if you look at appraisals, STBot will be different, GoDaddy, GoValue will be different. Everybody else will be completely different from everybody else, right? But you have to decide what is the correct value of your domain. So I keep talking about inherent value, which is what is the value of the domain to a potential best case end user. And that inherent value is derived from brand value, memorability, simplicity, recall value, the statistics, CPC, search numbers, searches per month, number of TLDs registered, number of related domain names, stuff like that. So there is a bit of an art, a bit of a science, both. And even then you mostly get it wrong, like not mostly, but to a large extent, because you don't know exactly what someone's going to be willing to pay for a domain name. So there is always a negotiation. So you price it at an inherent value basis, and then you negotiate down usually because nobody negotiates up. And that's how you sell domains. So, I mean, that's the easiest explanation I can give. As far as Doma is concerned, sorry?
You make it sound so easy.
It is very easy. Actually. Now, if you find domaining complicated, I think you should choose another profession. Maybe like I've heard recently that selling vegetables is very profitable. You can buy them cheap from farmers and sell them wholesale. There's a lot of money in it. That's what I'm being told. But it is simple. It is not. It is difficult. The top level of the game requires a lot of financial backing. But anybody can buy a domain for $10 and then call themselves a domainer or a domain investor. The trick is to make money, and even more important than making money. I mean, you have really big names in the audience. You have Braden here, you have Ish here, you have Joe. I mean, there are a lot of people I probably don't know, but these guys have been around forever. I know Joe was already an established guy when I started. So there are a lot of people who do this full time. For me, domains are an adjunct. They're an add-on to my advertising activity. We brand new companies, new startups, marketing initiatives, stuff like that. So I don't make a living off domains, but yeah, it's a good, nice side gig to have.
So
for 20 years, not easy.
In the screen, I can see a couple of your domains, right? Matt, can you take it from here about these domains? I mean, what is the status of these domains? How they are, functioning?
Since we have some meat, maybe you could talk. I'm happy to kind of show more, but would love to get your experience. So you launched realityapps.com on Doma. Do you want to talk about why'd you do that? I mean, I think I know the answer, right? But why did you want to launch with Doma, and what has your experience been, and any tips for the folks here today?
So why did I want to launch with Doma? Because I think when you go back to the NFT craze, and everybody was creating all these NFT projects with nothing tangible behind it. Very few projects actually had value behind it. Stuff like VFriends and all that, where they allowed you to, POAP, proof of attendance protocol, where they allowed you to attend a conference or whatever. So that had some value. But most of these image kind of token, image kind of project had nothing. This is all vaporware. And what happened is obviously what was going to happen. The people who started the project took the money and then said, Tata, and they took the money and left. Here, and at that time also, we were on Clubhouse at that time. We used to have these rooms on Clubhouse pretty much daily. And even at that time, I used to think that you should do this with domains because at least the domain has some tangible value, some inherent value, like I'm saying. And that could then allow the project to survive beyond just the launch or just the minting. And when Doma came around, Doma was there, a couple of other companies. I looked at all of them and I thought Doma had the best tech. It looked the most professional. It didn't look like the software was going to collapse the minute someone loaded a domain out there. And these guys, like he said, Fred's been around forever. I've known Fred for like ever since I started. It helps that they have the technology, they have the financial backing, they have the system set up correctly where I'm not editing software. I'm not getting into for me, it's been relatively simple. I moved some domains onto Interstellar, which is their registrar. I had Jebediah help me with the launches. We launched 12 domains till now. 13 if you include Grad AI, which is bonding right now. 4 of them graduated. They're realityapps.com, revenuespot.com, curates.xyz, and joyridecoin. Joyride Coin, for some reason, seems to be super popular with the subdomain guy. None of the others have subdomain. So when they launched, I got a little bit of money, whichever the bonding curve, 50% or whatever graduating the bonding curve payment. And since then, every couple of days, I get like $5, $10, $20, $30 from the domains through vesting tokens. I'm completely clueless on how that works, but as long as you're giving me money, I'm not going to object. The basic function of Doma, as far as I understand, is a stock exchange. Each domain is an IPO. You get 7 days for other people to see the value, or it doesn't graduate. If enough people see the value and buy your token, it graduates. And once it graduates, then it's on chain. There are 100 reasons you should do this, because sitting in your portfolio, you're paying renewals, you're not getting anything back. And if you look at it from a portfolio perspective on a much higher scale, so high level kind of thing, it's an expensive affair. Even if you've got 1,000 domains, let's say, you're paying an average of $11 a year, assuming they're all dot. And of course, we know people have .ais and .io, other stuff which costs 20, 30, 50, $100 a year. I, in fact, bought .pros at $100 a year. But let's say $11 each, 1,000 domains, that's $11,000 you have to pay before you make a single penny every year. And it should be easy. Going by an STR of 1%, you should be selling 10 domains a year. But it doesn't always happen, right? Because domains have their own life cycle. You might have bought domains which will, for breaking technology, will come into effect 3 years down, 2 years. So it's an arbit kind of business. There's no guarantees. Even that 1% is not guaranteed. Some people make money with 0.1%. Some people send 20% at wholesale and still lose. So you have to be very careful on how you're doing your portfolio management. Doma makes sense. I mean, ideally, if there were like I was just telling Matt the other day, if you had 1 million buyers, I'd put my whole portfolio there and just forget about it, right? I'll take out my whatever initial investment and then I'm good. It sells, it doesn't sell, and it will sell. It's not that I am selling 2x of my annual renewal in any case. It's not like that's how I'm surviving. I don't really buy domains, maybe a few here and there when they're too nice, but the last domains I bought was somewhere in 2015. And that's all I'm selling. So, and I stuck to the basics. I don't get into trends. I didn't have many NFT domains or crypto domains or cloud domains, stuff like that. Plus, being from an advertising background, I think branding is a little different. I tried explaining it to somebody the other day, like none of the project management companies have project management in the name. Whether you take KPMG or PwC or Accenture and all that, Boston Consulting Group, none of the say is project management. So you have to understand branding from that perspective. And this is not new. Even back in 2008-9, companies like even Google and Yahoo and all that, Google didn't call itself search.com. I'm sure they could have at some point afforded search.com, but calling it Google has value. It's trademarkable, it's protectable legally. There are a lot of advantages. So I won't get into all that. It's too long a chat. My experience with Doma, currently, pretty good. I'm going to take a little more control in setting the bonding prices because some of these names require a higher return than currently what I'm getting. But no complaints, honestly. Reality apps, let's be very transparent. It's worth about 50 grand. The bonding curve's at 750. I got about $367 and I've got maybe another $40 or $50 since. So $450 I've already got. I'll get another $350 odd probably after 12 months. So in total, I'll get about $750. For 20% of the domain, that's not bad at all. Of course, the downside is I will have to pay them $12,500 when I sell the domain. Whether I sell it for $50,000 or if I sell it for $20,000, that's my problem, not their problem. And I think that's a good thing for the people who are buying the token. Unlike an IPO where the share price will go up and down and you might lose money at the IPO level. Here, once you invest in a token, when the domain sells, you will make. Will the domain sell tomorrow? Probably not. It could take 1 year, it could take 6 months, it could take 2 years, 5 years. I don't know. But when it does sell, the token holder will get paid. And in the meantime, if they don't want to hold it for that long, they can sell the token. Now, at the trading level, they might win money or lose money depending whether the price has gone up or down. But that's a different business altogether. It's got nothing to do with domain. I wish everybody in crypto who's buying meme coins, which is like a couple of $1 trillion, they start buying RWAs on Doma. We should be good. Maybe not $1 trillion. I'll be happy with 20 billion. What say, Matt?
I love it. I'm going to ask Inder to put on the homepage your experience with Samit with Doma. Pretty good. That's what I want to have right on the homepage. Pretty good in big bold print. But yeah, no, thank you for the walkthrough. Really awesome. And yeah, we're obviously really happy to have you on the platform. I was going through a couple of your domains, and I think you've gotten hundreds of holders across the different ones, right? You've raised a couple $1,000s probably in total, and that covers your renewals, right? If you want to hold on to these domains for the next 10 years, I think your renewals are basically covered, right? So really
all the domains I moved on to Interstellar just from the money I've got. I could renew them for 10 years each and just forget about it.
Oh,
exactly.
Great. So can I know status of my domain, Matt?
Let me check in.
Yes.
You want me to see if you're rich now?
It graduated.
Graduated, yeah.
You're a rich man. So yeah, I guess we're gonna lose you now. Off to wherever you want to go, Thailand, Japan. Yeah, but it does look like I moved too simple.
$45 won't even get him to Bombay.
Yeah.
I know, right?
100% graduation.
Now I understand these numbers again, Matt, from you.
Yeah, of course. So now what's happened is the bonding curve is 100%. It's graduated, and now it's a live liquid market. A liquidity pool has been generated, and every time a trade happens, you're earning money. Just like Samit had mentioned in brief, right? He goes to Dome every month. He collects a free paycheck. Right? Because as long as you have trading volume, that's the name of the game here. You want traders to be interested in buying your domain. If there's a lot of trading volume, you're earning fees on every single trade. And so what you've earned right now is, we've raised $90 and half of that goes into the liquidity pool to generate the market, and $45 goes right to you. So you can take that and put it in a piggy bank for when you want to fly some.
And I can further buy fraction of domains from this money, right?
Oh yeah, you're free to do both in reverse, right? You can buy more or you can sell more. So it looks like you sold around 20% circulating. If you wanted to get some of that back and be like, hey, I don't want so many tokens on the market, you could buy back 10%. Or in the opposite, if you were like, hey, I want the community to have more access to this, etc., you could sell another 10%. Right? You have free control, and as long as you retain majority ownership share of your tokens, you retain full DNS control, etc. So it's yours to do as you please.
So can we see a couple of domains of Summit as well in this panel so that other can also see? Any one domain of Summit?
Which one was I just looking at? I'll go back to the basic view. It's a little easier to see.
Reality app.
Yeah, go to reality. Obviously you can search anything up here as well. So Reality Apps has a 50,000 price. It's an expensive one. So I mean, I don't have 50 grand, unfortunately, but you're free to buy as much or as little as you want. You could see that this one graduated, 750 was raised and half goes. So if I could do basic math, that's about 375 went to Samit day one, and the other 375 went into the liquidity pool. That gets unlocked, over time, over the next 12 months, you'll get the liquidity back, and you could choose to keep it in there and keep earning fees, or you could pull it and let the users kind of generate fees in your stead. You can see the activity here. Well, it's buys and sells, 23 holders right now. And when did you launch this? 6/15, so about 4 weeks ago. So still pretty early. And you launched a couple of them, right? So there's also, I think, you said Joyride, I want to say. Joyridecoin.com. Yeah, that one's up 0.12% in the past day, but it looks like down the last couple of days, but that's all right. $8,000 to buy out seems like reasonable. Pretty good price. $125 raised. So you receive, oh man, wish I could do base 60 to 50, and of course you're receiving fees every day as it gets traded. And yeah, this one has more activity, like you said. Look at all that over the last 11 hours, a whole bunch of buys and sells, 67 holders. You said this one has subdomains, right? Oh, this is interesting. So a whole bunch of subdomains. You can see the total tokens that were staked and then the total value today, what those tokens are. So if you want to support Samit and buy some tokens, get a subdomain. Wow, these are some interesting ones. I guess the community really connected. Did you enable subdomains on everything, Samit?
Yeah, I actually left it up to Jebediah because it was first time I was using Doma. I pretty much pushed everything to him and said, thank you very much. So
yeah, perfect. So it's probably some are enabled, some aren't, but this is a really interesting one. You got a whole bunch of activity. I kind of want to buy joyridecoin.com. I might do that when we end. So I'll support you, Samit. Get some subdomains.
You don't have to. I think it's doing well enough on its own.
Well, yeah, the total value of this subdomain isn't too much. I think I can afford it. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you can get a couple on your own as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the advantage is every token holder becomes a part of your community. That's what you said, right? That's
exactly. You can see the holders here as well, right? So this is you, of course, 62%. And this is also you. This is what's, gets vested over time. And then this is just the majority. And then you can see all the other, this is you, sorry, the original. You can see all these different holders, right? This community you've massed of 67 people. I know a couple of these familiar names that are very popular on our site, but you have all these different people that are now your community, right? And I think over time, we'll build tools to help you kind of engage and support this community. So really cool that this one's connected.
Yeah. So what this community does for you is it enables distribution. One of the reasons I got into Doma was distribution. It gets your domain in front of the right eyeball. These guys are already active in the crypto space, and this kind of a domain would work perfectly in that space. So
exactly. Don't know, Jay, if you have anything else, but yeah, I'm really happy you were able to join us, Samit. Always great to speak to you.
Thank you, Samit, for your insights. Now, Matt and Inder, now we can take a couple of questions actually. Right. So I have a question from Mrs. Mittal, like this is related to tax actually. Do you send payment directly to the seller's crypto wallet, or do you report domain sale payment information to the government, etc.?
Yeah, we do not, do like tax advice or tax reporting. There are crypto tools to kind of help you with that. But sadly, we do not report the payments made to any government, including on-chain or off-chain. Mm-hmm. The payments are all made in crypto today, sadly. So I was hoping, Samit, you can maybe chime in, how you've kind of off-ramped money. Our goal is to allow payments via PayPal pretty soon and other, exchanges.
Most domain sales, like stuff we sell through Den and Doma or Afternic or any other platform or even escrow or whatever, they send a wire transfer to your bank account. Once the payment hits your bank account, it's your responsibility to provide the tax authorities with why you got the payment and how much you spent out of that. It's normal taxation. Like if you do an invoicing in an Indian company, you have to show why you invoiced that company and what you got and stuff. So it's pretty straightforward there. With this, one of the things that I spoke to Matt the other day is I don't do crypto at all. I don't have a crypto wallet, stuff like that. So the money's just sitting in my account at Doma, the $400-500. But eventually when it gets to maybe say $2,000, I'll request for a wire or we'll figure something out. But for us, reporting it's normal. If money hits your bank account, it's already accounted for. The accountant will put that in your ledger, and that ledger will then be shared with the appropriate authorities based on what your earnings are and not. For those who deal only in crypto, I like I said, I don't have a crypto wallet, so I'm completely unaware of how that works. And I don't want to get into crypto because, in fact, that was one of the reasons I stayed out of NFT.
It's basically the same, Samit, though. You really covered it, right? When you have funds, when it hits your bank account, that's when you kind of deal with taxation. So it depends on every country, et cetera, on what the tax laws are. But Doma doesn't need to provide any of that because you're doing that on your own when you're kind of managing when money hits your.
Okay, one comment from Shramanam. It would be better to receive money from PayPal or Wise or wire transfer. Okay, and I'm getting questions on YouTube live as well. I have some domain for listing. Okay, you can DM me your details and I will contact you because with your username of YouTube, I cannot figure out who are you. Okay, just you can DM me and contact us through our groups, or you can email at sales@d3.com as well, right? I have just entered in the YouTube live chat.
Yeah, Jay likes increasing work for himself. Why not ask them to just sign up for Doma and do the launch themselves?
No. I mean, they can talk to them and have some more detail on them. I mean, sometimes it is, overwhelming for people. If they are asking, I have some domain for listing, then we have to tell them how to do that. Otherwise, they would have done, we have already shown them Doma or app.doma.xyz. So
I like Samit's answer though. Just if you wanted to do it yourself and you know how, everything is self-service on Doma. You're free to. We didn't actually review that. But if you go under launch and new launch, you can submit anything to our team self-service. So no email required. We're also happy to help if you would like additional help. But our platform is fully open.
I do recommend trying the self-service, but Samit makes it sound easy. Hey, if you don't know how to sell domains, you should. But that's not the case. I think you are. Yeah, you are, in Samit's word, doing an IPO. So if you're financially savvy enough, where you can kind of understand who's buying your domain, what the hell they care about, do self-service. But if you just want to connect with the team, drop us an email at sales@d3.com. We're also very happy to answer questions, work with you, provide feedback. But self-service remains the best way.
Yeah, to be absolutely honest, I had Jebediah help me. So let's start.
See, this guy is telling people to use self-service.
One more question we have got. Can
but I
we
don't
do
know how.
payout requests via platform like Payoneer?
I know Inder's working
We're
on a whole
working
bunch of
on
new
that.
things.
Yeah, so August 15th, we're hoping to add a lot more ways to get money in and out. And I'll talk to our financial services provider. Another user spoke about Morocco as a country and PayPal. So I'll have answers for you. And maybe Jay, like, you can help, send those answers out in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, I think we have answered almost all the questions in the chat, right? And okay, one question to clarify: are you talking about less than 500K of Smoothie being sold for the value of the entire domain?
The 480K is the value of the entire domain, but you can only buy like 20% what David has sold. So
Okay.
you're buying in the domain at 1/7 of the final price. So what percentage is being sold is the number of tokens on the market. It's an IPO where the company still holds 80%, which in this case is David. But the reality is you're buying it at a really cheap price.
Okay, there's one question from True Domains. Why it is not on Arbitrum network?
Yeah, so we bring domains on chains where we see the most user activity and demand. If there's a very active Arbitrum community, we're very happy to work with you. The domains can only be done on Base, Solana, and Doma chain right now, but very happy to consider Arbitrum. Just haven't seen, the buyer profile kind of emerge from there. You can bridge money from Arbitrum today, though. So you can buy domains on any chain with funds from Arbitrum. The tokens are not bridgeable to Arbitrum, sadly.
Okay, I think that's all for tonight, I guess, right? So, all right, guys, that wraps up our Q&A. Wow, what a session. Can you say, guys? A huge thank you to Inder, Matt, and Samit for sharing their knowledge today. And a massive thank you to all of you for being such an active and engaging audience. And because of you, my domain got graduated actually, right? And a special thanks to D3 Doma and the entire team for partnering with us as our knowledge partner and helping educate the global domain community about Doma protocol. So guys, what happens next? As you can see, my chat box, right? First, sign up by heading over to app.doma.xyz. I have posted the link in the chat box. And the second, prepare your domain for the launch. And the third, connect with the community by joining the Doma Discord. And do not forget to follow Doma Protocol at Twitter. So I'm dropping off a couple of links, and I have also dropped one server link. Please take 1 minute to fill out that survey form, and your feedback is really valuable for us, and it will definitely help us to design more and more such webinar in the future. And finally, keep an eye on your inbox, guys. We will be sending you an email with recorded video where you can replay entire show, and you can also pause that video and ask questions then and there so that we can see on what video interval you have asked the question. Thank you all once again for joining us today. Have a great day and good night. Good midnight to my friends from South Asia. And we will see you soon on chain, guys. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you so much. Hey, thanks, Jay. Thanks, Amit, Matt.